Okay, so greetings to everyone. This session we have planned specifically for the purpose that how to decode the national curriculum framework. It's definitely the session the informations to be conveyed to the educators, specifically the principals, the teachers, the counselor, all the stakeholders, those who are connected directly or indirectly with the school education. The basic purpose we have taken for this because it's a, five-layer process in the national curriculum framework where the part A, B, C, D has to be mentioned over there. And I will try to, because all we are at the same platform, I try to be into the depth of the breadth of the curriculum, how this NCF plays a very crucial role for the implementation of the national education policy. All we are familiar because already we have celebrated the 3 years of this national education policy anniversary, but still this national curriculum framework has its own challenges. And specifically when we talk about the concept of curriculum framework, so definitely already the guidelines has to be given to us by the NCRT, and in most of the CBSE schools we are in a phase of implementation of this one. So let us have a some discussion, some concept where we try to understand what actually we need this. The system is required from here. I will share my presentation. Yes.
पर्सनल ईमेल आईडी है क्या? पर्सनल ईमेल आईडी क्या है? मैथ्स टीचर.
I request if you are not to be in the discussion, so please mute yourself. It's a recorded session. Other may sometimes got disturbed. Thank you. Okay. So I'm sharing my screen. I think that is visible to all of you. And okay. So how to decode this one? So we have taken this particular phase where we are going to implement this curriculum framework, and as an educator we must understand that what are the various the phases in this one. I will not go into the detail of every one, but the core area for today's topic which we have taken, the first the part of the curriculum is the approach, where the curriculum goals and other area we are supposed to discuss the cross-cutting themes. It's a very important aspect. Later we will take the sessions on the different parts also. The school subjects, it's a subject specific where we are going to into the core areas of the curricula where the students are entering this one. The next one is the school culture and processes. Today we are going to discuss the first part of this one, that is the school culture, not the process. And the last one is the creating a supportive ecosystem where the students feel connected, where the student feel engaged, where the student feel involved. So that is the part D. So let us we continue with the D section where we are going to elaborate the concept of school culture. What actually the national curriculum framework mentioning here, that is a very important aspect. I have taken this one because all we are in the education setup, we are connected with the students, and school culture is such a domain where we are automatically connected, because once we enter into the education system, sometimes most of us are changing the places from one place to the another in case of the job challenges after the COVID even also. So during that time we find a lot of concept of about the school culture. and what this culture word indicates and what the school needs, what the system is required. That is a very, very important part. It's a party where the school culture and processes has to be focused, and we try to understand on this one that what actually the school culture mentioned here. So in a simple way we can say what actually the culture, school culture here indicates, that is the way in which the school can cultivate a rich, vibrant and shared life of learning for all of its members. If we go deep into these lines, cultivate a rich. So rich means a healthy environment where we are involved with the stakeholders, where we are involved with the students, make them engaged in the different domains. Vibrant means when we see this as a part of that, everyone is involved with full energy and their zeal, and shared life of learning for all of its members. That is a very, very core area, because once we are in the education system, it's a long memory in the education setup that through the experience of the teacher or getting the new experience in the school culture, that all will make this domain. So this all clear has mentioned in the national curriculum framework. Let us we try to go deep into this one, where school culture focus on the two major aspects. Today, I have taken here the concept of school culture from the national curriculum framework. Those who have joined, national curriculum framework is the document which is prepared by the stakeholders, experts, so that the national education policy has to be implemented into our educational system. So all the educator first must sensitize about this domain. So in today's session, we will try to explore what the school culture, even you also have a different experience in your own setup. The first one is the values, norms, and belief. So, what the values in the school setup, what are the norms we are following, what are the beliefs we are having, that is the basic concept of which form the school culture. Because when we enter into the school setup, we have seen sometimes the students, how they talk to each other, how they respond to the teachers, how they are following a particular uh, domain when they are in a educational setup, when they are in a environment. The belief, already they have a fixed set of mind through the different aspects, maybe the previous year experiences, those students who are very, very old in the education setup, not only the students but the teachers, the administrators, all those persons, those who are connected with the educational setup, that has this particular, which form the school culture, what the values they are having, what norms they are following, what beliefs they are in their mind. So this is the first one. The second one, the behavior, the relationship, and the practices. Behavior, here we will discuss, that is in a different situation, when sometimes uh, we are in our class setup, and at that time how the student behave, the sitting positions, because it is totally related with the direct transactions of the classrooms, that indicate the curriculum transaction. That is one of the part where we are focusing more on the pedagogy. So behavior aspects, not only the students but the teachers, how we listen to the students, how we respond to the students, how we create a relations with the students. Everyone, every all of you are having a different experience when we joined the school, a very first day, after 5 years, after 10 years, in the education setup, even COVID, after COVID, we have a lot of reformation, lot of transactions and paradigm shift in even the technology also. So how the practices, sometimes this is a very, very core area, how the students after the assembly, for example, they disperse to the classes during any of the functions, how they prepare that activity. So culture, which the through the values, norms, and belief they have developed, through the behavior, relation, and the practices they experience and manifested. Uh, if you have any experience in your own setup, you can also elaborate this aspect, because what the students are getting from one side, how they are behaving, how they are creating a even after a service of 5 to 10 years, 20 years, even after retirement, people are getting the phone connections from the old students. That is the relationships. So during the school culture, how the all the educator, not only the teachers, but all those employees, those who are not in the teaching but they are in the administrative jobs, they are doing other work other than teaching. So that culture has to be experienced by our learners, and that is manifested. The manifestation of this culture, definitely when the child enter into the work culture, at that time that is also reflected in their personalities. If any one of you can want to share, so it's a we will take one or two. Otherwise, I will continue with the next one, because we are discussing about the school culture, and school culture is a very, very important aspect. And this culture, which has to be experienced in the different situation and manifested, that plays a very crucial role. Okay. So this manifestation, which is the reflection or the experience of culture, is seen in the three important category. And if we talk about the category, so first is the relationship. So how we build the relationship with the students. So building a relationship with the students, building a relationship with the teachers to the teachers, teachers to the administrator, administrator to the students, to the teachers, to the higher authorities, connecting all the stakeholders, the parents, the community members, because curriculum framework focuses more also on involving the community for engaging them with the students. Although we have a lot of challenges for the implementation, but still the relationship plays a very, very important role, because when the curriculum has to be transacted in the classroom, how the student has to be connected with the teachers, because that experience, that knowledge, that culture will be created at that time, how the teacher and the students are responding to the question. Even inquiry based question also comes from here, because the relationship plays a very, when students feel cared, valued, and they are respected at that time, the relations plays a very, very important role. So we have to take care of this domain, because most of the times, if we are not having in a healthy relation with the student, sometimes they are upset, sometimes they are disconnected, and sometimes they are not feel values. So relationship plays a very, very crucial role. The second aspect of this is the symbols. It's a very important domain, because or most of the times, even in the presentation, we focuses or discusses that symbol gives a more clarity to the audience. But here also I am focusing about the symbols which indicate in the school culture, from the school logo to the classroom decoration boards, to the outside in the corridor boards, sometimes something written on the walls, some painting drawn on the walls, that has to be reflected in terms of symbol, and that is the experience of the students, which create them a lifelong learner, and that is also the indication of the school culture. So that is why when we focuses more on connecting with the students, but the students work has to, for example, for the mental well-being, we are preparing the boards like positivity board, we are creating no to bullying, how to always positive, attitude of gratitude, so that symbols, suppose the students has to indicate the different cultures of the different states of the country. So when we pass through that corridor, so that symbol has to be uh, the reflection, that is the experience of the students, and that makes it's one of the strong pillar of creating the school culture. The next one is the third one is that is the arrangement and practices. Arrangement and practices here focus as per the curriculum framework that what the school culture indicates about the different involvement of the students in the different activities. It should be free from any biasness, free from the gender, equity, caste, and other factors, so that everyone, we can say, inclusive word has to be very appropriate here, because that is also an important aspect of our national curriculum framework. So practices mean we are talking about how the inclusion has to be done, how we are involving the students, how the responsibilities we have given to the school students council, how students are involved in the decision making process. So that arrangement and practices for the different activities, to conduct some activities, to conduct some events in the school. So that also arrangement and practices plays a very important role. So when we are talk about the arrangements, when we talk about the symbols, when we talk about the relationship, as an educator, we must be ready with the all these aspects which create the which experience of culture has to be seen by an educator, because all we are connected here. So this is the very important. And once we done this one, so what is the reflections from here? That is that constituent elements of the school culture. So when we talk about these three important areas, these three important categories, number one, the relationship. It's a relationship between the colleagues and colleagues, department to department, with the fourth class employees, with the lab assistant, with the peons, with the principals, with the parents, with the community members, involving the other stakeholders. So that relations is the foundation, and that creates the school culture that has to be very much mentioned very clearly in the national curriculum framework. If you go through from page number 515 to 530, that 15 pages will give you the reflection of today's session, what we are having in the curriculum framework as per the national education policy. So let us be understand the school culture and its impact on the learning. Learning means on the one way, it's when the child is at the center, and on the other way, we an educator also start learning from there. So when we talk about the impact, so school culture, what we have developed through these three important aspects, where we are talking about the symbols, where we are talking about the relationship, where we are talking about the practices. So school culture here contribute to students learning in two important ways, and how they are learning by creating a safe, encouraging, and nurturing learning environment. So here, if you are talking about the safe, it means student feel comfortable. He or she or these students must be able to share their feelings to the teachers. Encouraging a very very small activity. Suppose in my class, when student is not able to sometimes reflect on what the concept is going on. I am a physics teacher, so all we know that understanding the physics phenomena itself creates a lot of challenges. But with a very small example, when the student put up by connecting that topic to the real world experiences, at that time, the teacher support plays a very, very crucial role. So in education setup, we must be more empathetic. We must be able to listen to the students, listen to their parents, listen to the voice of the students very deeply, and ultimately that creates the learning environment. So nurturing learning environment here again focuses that when the child is in a learning environment, we are try to provide a conducive learning environment to the students, not only in terms of the physical or the infrastructure, but also the physical, the mental well-being of the students. So that mental health is also a very important aspect of students' learning. So by creating this safe, encouraging, and nurturing learning environment, definitely the child will have a different aspects, and he will reflect when he enter into the work culture. That has sometimes will be reflected in their behavior, in their personality, but later on when they enter into their work culture, so definitely the school culture has to be reflected. Sometimes we ask the student from where you are coming, from which school. So that is also a very important aspect. Come the second area where we are focusing, that is by directly contributing to attain the curricular goal. That is also in a separate part. We will discuss the curricular goal in the upcoming sessions. And here we have taken a very, very important word, desirable values and dispositions. Uh, desi- uh, so how to attain the curricular goal, what the curriculum pedagogy and assessment is focusing primarily on, what the national education policy have suggested this one. So development of desirable uh, this values and disposition, it's a itself a full session where how to develop this one, but today we try to focus on this one because that is also a very, very important aspect. So developing and enabling learning environment. So how to develop this enabling learning environment, how to enable the button of the environment, how we an educator try to create this one, what environment the student will learn most. This is the first aspect, that is the trust. And the trust is again a bonding between the students and the teachers. The second one is the self-discipline. It's if we are talking about the students, definitely, and the students must be self-disciplined. We create some activity, some environment, give some example where students feel respected, they are trusted, they must be have in such a mode that they are self-disciplined, that what to do, what not to do. And that is the values has to be reflected in their behavior. And that is the indication of school culture. The motivation, it may be the intrinsic, it may be the extrinsic. If we put the students at this domain, so definitely when the subject is going on, how we motivate the students, how with the real life examples. If it is an extrinsic motivation, so definitely the different examples through the virtual worlds, even through the hands-on experiments. When if we are talking about the learning of physics in my class, so how to engage the students in the different activities so that they can learn and they can engage at that time. So motivation, intrinsic and extrinsic, both will work continuously. So quickly, I will come to, because it's a time-bound schedule. So inclusive and nurturing culture, that is also a very important aspect, because we are supposed to involve the students to each other, so that mutual respect, because that also indicate if I need respect from the students, so definitely I also allow the students to give respect, but at the same time we also give respect to the students, and that is only through the body. Sometimes we are busy in our activities, and sometimes students are not able to listen our voice. So inclusive and nurturing culture has to be there. The second one is the a non-threatening environment, I feel secure. Healthy relationship, already we have discussed a lot of things about the relationship, but healthy relationship, even students are in the system, not in the system, at that time when we are connected, so definitely that that indication of the culture. And vibrant and caring environment, once we ask the student why you are not able to come to the, for example, the previous 2 days, because of some of the family constraint, because of some other issues, so definitely that caring environment also connect the students with all that contribute to achieve the curricular goal. So these are the I have copied from the curriculum. On the one side, we will find the characteristics of enabling the environment, and on the other side, the constituent element of the school culture. Go through with these 3-4 pages. So, for example, inclusive, if we are talking about this, so no discrimination, content pedagogy and assessment practices are carefully designed to ensure the inclusion. Or when we are explaining, when we are using some strategies, so that has to taken all the students into the confidence by taking care of all the students, the level of the students. Teacher and senior students can be observed going about their task and routine responsibility. So that is the violence free. You can, I mentioned on the top also, that is number 517, National Curriculum Framework, School Culture. You can go there and you must have this one. Again, enabling learning environment, caring, responsibility, encouraging good habit of learning. So teacher and students can observe going about their task and routine responsibly. Teacher check on students' health, about the caring. School is concerned about students' family. That is also important aspect. Responsibility, teacher and students can observe being punctual and follow the school timetable. That is again a very, very important aspect. So the next important is how to develop the values and dispositions. So students drive their values from the two main sources. First is the family and community, because what the values students are getting from their parents, what the students' values they are getting from their community when they are working at that particular point. And the second one is the school setup. So this is also a very, very important aspect. So what and how the relationship about the symbol, about the arrangement, we can give the answers from here. These are some of the values and disposition. Already I have taken all these from the document. It is very much clear mentioned over there: empathy, forgiveness, respect for the environment, patience, diversity, helpfulness, sacrifice, seva, scientific temper, all these. So developing value and dispositions, these are some of the values on the left hand side, and some of the constituent elements which develop these values and disposition. It's not a the one-to-one connected, but it's a cumulative table which is reflected here. So I'm not going more into this one. This is a responsibility. Individual follow the rule. So we must be responsible. Patience, when sometimes the students are not able to give the proper answer what we feel at that time, we also have to develop a more patience and resilience that creates among us also, not only the students. So this is something about the concept of school culture that indicate all these values are on the page number 515 in the curriculum framework. So thank you very much from my side. This session give some insight about it's a totally, I know, the informative sessions, and will give you the idea of the school culture. Definitely in the coming session we will take the school processes. So till then, thank you very much for the next.
Sir, kindly so, sir,